Hey, hi everyone. I have Melissa Temple-Agosta here. She's International Director with Kannaway. And myself, Stacey Dark, I'm Regional Director with Kannaway, distribution model of CBD supplements. And today, we both have been with the company for quite some time. Melissa from the very beginning, I think a little over 3 years, and myself about 2 years and a few months. And over time, we see a lot that's coming to fruition with CBD, the CBD boom, and a lot of companies popping up and piggybacking, and a lot of supplements out there claiming to have a lot of great CBD products with their companies. But today, what I would like to do is we would like to talk about why Kannaway. What is really the differentiation between our supplements, our products, from the point of how the hemp plant's grown, to the extraction, to the sourcing, to the quality, and really what makes us different. And what I love about having Melissa on with me today, that I'm super excited to do this with, not other than the fact that I absolutely adore her, as we all do,
thank you.
She's a wealth of knowledge. She actually worked with corporate for quite some time with Kannaway, and moved over to the distribution model to be just like us, distributing the supplements to people in need for their health. So without any further ado, we're going to kind of make this kind of a Q&A session, because I have a team of people, as so does she, that we have a ton of questions day in and day out, and we would like to address them. Or at least help address them.
Yes.
So Melissa, I want to start off with, you do an extensive amount of research constantly on all the companies out there and the different quality of products, the pricing, the products themselves. I guess I want to kind of start with the basic of why Kannaway. The average person's looking for CBD for their health. And we know that everyone says, well, when choosing CBD, you want to choose full spectrum first. If you can, unless you're drug tested, because, our supplements do have 0.3% or less of THC. So all full spectrum will have a certain degree of a percentage of THC, which shows up in drug testing. So if somebody is not going through drug testing and they want to take advantage of CBD for their health, we always recommend full spectrum. Now, there's a lot of full spectrum CBD on the market today. So would you mind kind of explaining a little bit about what makes our full spectrum, maybe primarily our applicator, which we see amazing results with, different than the typical full spectrum that everybody's seeing on the market?
Sure. Well, first of all, full spectrum just means that you're not removing anything from the plant in its natural state. You are processing it to make it pure and to make it sellable and something that you can actually consume, obviously. Otherwise, you would just be planting your own plant and juicing it at home.
Yeah.
And that really doesn't even unleash the full benefits. So full spectrum products are supposed to have a wide variety of over the hundreds of cannabinoids and plant materials that are there naturally in the plant. And all of those cannabinoids and other substances like terpenes and chlorophyll and vitamins and minerals and essential fatty acids, they actually work together to create a state in your body called homeostasis. And to get that, you need this entourage effect, which you probably heard this buzzword in the other side of our industry. But the entourage effect is real because all of these molecules work in synergy together to have a result on your wellness. And that's why we are such proponents of full spectrum. And in our premium products, they are unadulterated. It is a pure plant material paste. We do not add anything to it. And we process it to make sure that it has enough of one of the main cannabinoids that we focus on, which is called cannabidiol or CBD in it. And that's why we do that. So yes, we totally believe in full spectrum. And we know that some people do have limitations, but starting there is really giving yourself all the beneficial health benefits of it.
Perfect. Now, I know like with us, with Kannaway, our company, we offer a full spectrum in an applicator.
Mm-hmm.
There's 50 milligrams of CBD, full spectrum, like you said, with all the cannabinoids, the benefits of all the cannabinoids. So
Yes.
everything can work synergistically together,
Mm-hmm.
0.3% or less of THC. But I also know that it's a very unique product to the other full spectrum liquids. You can look online, they say they're full spectrum, they're organic, just like we are, they're triple lab tested, just like we are. So what would make that applicator different than all the full spectrum liquids that are out there or capsules?
I mean, in general, people don't traditionally just sell their paste. They have to do something to it to make it edible or to make it something that will pass the lab tests. We don't have to do that because our source is so pure. You know, a lot of people don't know that our company and the founders of our company created the legal pipeline for hemp to come into this country for families that needed it. And that is not talked about a lot out there, that we created the space. There were no testing procedures. There were no standards. We created them. Companies chose whether to follow them or not because there were no regulations. And now we're starting to see them, of course. And the truth is coming out about a lot of people, unfortunately for them. However, our source is pure, and that's key. You have to know where the plant comes from. We use generational farms where nothing else has ever been planted in that soil. A pesticide, an herbicide, a GMO of any kind has never been used in that soil. And that's important because hemp will absorb anything that's in the soil it's grown. And then when you eat that, that goes into your body. So as a consumer, you need to demand to know the source, you need to demand the lab results, and you need to demand full disclosure labeling on your product. Just like when you would go to buy a vitamin supplement. In America, it's required to have the nutritional facts on the back and tell you what's in there. And you should expect that from a hemp product as well. Why wouldn't you?
Right, and that brings up a great point that you're stating because I think it was just on Dr. Oz that they did this whole episode on how 10 of the 13 products tested on the market that claimed to have all the CBD in it or claimed to have X, Y, and Z in their labeling actually did not. Can you further talk to that? Do you know any more information on that?
It's a scary prospect, you know, to put your trust in a company who puts themselves out there and is legal and on the market. And as a consumer, we believe in that, you know, so you have to do your homework. You know, this is still a little bit of the Wild West. Everything is still being established. The new Farm Bill literally was just signed in December. So all the standards and all the legislating is going on now to establish even more of these guidelines. And until then, as a consumer, you have to research, you have to do your due diligence and make sure you're making the right choice. It's not easy. And that's why we do this, where we actually focus on educating people and just being totally clear with what we do. It's important.
And that's another good point, because when they passed the law that stated now anybody in the United States, right? If you're growing in the United States, you're legal. But that just goes back again to the sourcing.
And you still have to get a permit. I mean, that's the thing to remember. You know, I live here in a state in North Carolina, for example. We were talking about this earlier where, you know, hemp was part of the pilot program like other states. And now that it's, you know, full speed ahead, the farmers still have to apply for licensing, and they still have to ensure that they are not using GMO seeds and that they will not use pesticides. There are no approved pesticides here in my state for hemp. Now, that may not be the case somewhere else, but while they figure all of this out, you know, right now it's being sorted out. And it takes a couple crop cycles to absorb all of the other stuff from the soil where tobacco was grown or GMO corn was grown or wheat or whatever it was. And so it will take time. And it's nice that they can now proceed with that process.
Absolutely. And I know that a lot of companies claim to be, that go through their extraction through ethanol versus us is CO2, which is apparently the purest way of extraction. Can you just touch quickly on the differentiation between those two?
Yes, I'm not a scientist and I'm not a doctor, but knowing what we use versus the competition is really important, and what families are giving to their kids and their pets and their elderly mother and father is really key to me. So when you use alcohol extraction, there will be residual elements of that left in the product. It's impossible to remove that, and then you are putting that into your body. When you use supercritical CO2 extraction, which is the highest level of CO2 extraction, it's pure. There is no residual anything that will hinder the efficacy of the cannabinoids and how they're supposed to work naturally in your body.
Correct, which is, of course, the extraction method that Kannaway uses, of course.
Yes. Yes.
So thank you for that. And a great, very phenomenal development that was just released is a couple of our products, the Pure Gold Liquid and our Gold Applicator, were just published in the Physician's Desk Reference.
Yes.
So this is the first supplement to ever be published. Can you speak a little bit further on that?
I just think it's making a huge difference, because we knew our notoriety, we knew our purity, we knew our standards, but now to have that actually proven and put out to the medical community so that they know that if they refer a patient to use Kannaway Pure Gold, for example, they are not jeopardizing their medical practice, their physician's license, or anything else, because it is there and it is okay. And now, I guess it's called the prescriber's digital reference, because they have they actually have an app where they can search and look up the products. It's pretty cool.
That's incredible.
We're very proud of this. It just speaks volumes. It's like the cream rises to the top sort of ideology.
Right. Well, and I think there's something to be said with integrity and the fact that we were, our company, our parent company, being Medical Marijuana Inc., the first publicly traded cannabis company in the United States, they were published on the History Channel as the innovators in the space. We created the category.
Absolutely.
And, we've been on Dateline because we own the government patent on the CBD 507, correct? So
so we have the license to actually do research using the government 507 patent, and that patent says that cannabinoids have the therapeutic use in terms of anti-inflammatory, neuroprotectants, and antioxidants. So we have a subsidiary called Canna Life Sciences, and they have the license from the National Institutes of Health to do these research projects with that patent. And because of that, we've made a lot of inroads into phytocannabinoid, which means just plant cannabinoid medicine that's coming in the future.
Right. Fabulous. Now, I know one differentiation that's very much proprietary just to Kannaway is our bee bong herbs that's incorporated into some of our supplements. I know we're all a big fan of these herbs, of bee bong.
They're very near and dear to me too.
Yes. So is there anything you would like to state as to maybe why someone would want to search out a CBD supplement that has these herbs incorporated into it?
Yes. I mean, anyone can put a nice ingredient in with hemp, and say that it is an herbal blend. Like you could put ginseng or you could put something in, but a bee bong formula is a perfectly balanced formula that can't be changed. And our formulator brought this from her family's lineage of the Korean royal family of physicians. And what she always reminds us is that hemp is one of the 50 fundamental herbs. Don't forget that it is part of traditional Chinese medicine. And when you put hemp with her perfectly balanced bee bong formula, it has this affinity. We don't need to worry about nano and bioavailability and all of that, because having the herbs helps everything absorb the way it's supposed to be. Your body has an affinity for it, and it just takes to it and drinks it in, if you will. Right. So I'm a big believer in that, because it also encourages detoxification in the body. If you've been taking a lot of toxic substances into your body, whether by prescription or otherwise, or environmentally, or from your food sources or whatever, it's going to help with that.
Absolutely. And I know that there's certain formulations of these herbs in some of our supplements that help assist with sleeping and more awakening, focus, alertness in the morning, etc. So they're just absolutely wonderful.
They are. we're lucky to have that.
Very lucky to have that. So thank you for that.
Sure.
And, if someone is just, looking out there and they're seeing kind of an apples to apples, so they think, full spectrum product on the market that's just a liquid, and say it's $50 cheaper, versus our product. One thing that is a differentiation, and maybe you can kind of validate this, is real scientific hemp oil, because our products are RSHO.
Yes.
Like our gold applicator that's used as a medicine internationally, like epilepsy and some other, very severe conditions. Is there anything you would like to state, and when someone's looking on the market, what to maybe look for, other than if someone claims to be, organic and they're less expensive? I'm a big believer, don't shop price, right? Because you want to look for the premium, you want to look for the quality. Is there anything you'd like to explain further on that?
Bottom line, you get what you pay for. And I know it's easy to say that, but when it is about your health, or you're trying to replace other things with something good, you have to know what's inside of that. You have to know the source. It's really about the things that I said before, but you have to have a reputable source. Real scientific hemp oil is a source, and it is a trusted, pure source that established this whole industry. You mentioned in the beginning that everyone's going to jump on this bandwagon and everybody's Me Too. I don't blame them. This is an incredible space to be a part of. We're helping people every day and we're changing lives. But you have to be conscious of the fact that some people don't have the source we have. No one has our source. We own our source. Yep. It is only us. And it is protected in so many ways, environmentally, et cetera. And until there's another source that's better, we have the source. We're keeping the source, So it's an ethical thing to know that we're making medicines in Brazil and Mexico for kids with intractable diseases. And why would we give them something that is subpar? So you're right. Shopping by price is a choice that people make. However, you have to know that when you cut the price, something is cut. Something along the line is shortchanged, and you may not know that nor be able to see it because of the lack of transparency, So
absolutely,
I'm on a soapbox a little bit, but I feel strongly about this. I don't think people should have to pay too much to have something good. It's just like the organic food movement. When that started, organic food was so expensive, and the price keeps coming down as it's more available to people and as standards are established. And we're part of that revolution right now. We're trying to end prohibition so that it does end all of these restrictions and all of these constraints that people are seeing out there. But just know what you're getting, know your source.
Absolutely. Trust. And another good point to bring up is, I think the confusion out there is people don't know how many milligrams a day. If they're looking, how many milligrams a day do I need for CBD? And you're right, we're not doctors. We can't treat or cure. We can't recommend, but there is a recommended daily allowance of serving that Dr. Stuart Titus and research has proven and backed behind science to activate our endocannabinoid system to benefit our health. And
that's right.
What would you say that would be?
And that is 50 milligrams a day for an adult. So, and for, this is for general wellness and to tap into the system in our bodies that was discovered, this endocannabinoid system. In the beginning, you have to turn it on. If you've never introduced cannabinoids, and they have not been in our food chain for so long, most people are deficient, and there now is an official endocannabinoid deficiency syndrome. It is a real thing, and it is the cause of many new ailments that have been popping up. My mom always blames her fibromyalgia on that, and I can't confirm or deny that, but I know that she is much improved in her quality of life since she's been using cannabinoids in her diet. So
absolutely,
I think there is a lot to be said for that. So start with 50, adjust from there, depending on how your body responds. We're all wired differently, but all mammals have this system, and it's just about triggering it, turning it on, let it do its thing, let it communicate with all of your organ systems in your body to produce a result. And everybody has their own little sweet spot of the number of milligrams they need. So you have to be on the journey. You have to be willing to experiment. This is not a prescription. This is not a doctor saying 2 pills a day. This is a plant, know? So it's okay.
Well, and it's true, because I encourage people to look for someone that's going to support you through this journey. Look for somebody that's going to follow you through the course.
Yes.
Because like you said, not everybody is different. Everybody is different. And
Mhm.
what one person may work well with one supplement and that amount of milligrams may not work with someone else. So, find somebody that's a CBD expert that is with the company that's going to help walk you through, like we do, of course. We walk
Yes.
them through and we stay the course. And I can't begin to tell you how many times I've had to change people's regimens, but I tell them, I promise I'm going to stay by your side on this. I'm going to help you get that right magic formulation. But there is patience that play into this. And sometimes people will just go try something and say it's, 4 milligrams of CBD. They don't know what they're using, or no one's recommending it properly to them.
No.
How to start, how to kind of ramp up, what to look for, what not to look for. And then they just give up and they think CBD is not right for them. So I just want to.
It's so true. If somebody tells you that this product is one size fits all, if they have one product and that's all they sell, or they have a very limited selection, there's no way to go on this journey together and experiment. They can't meet the needs of all of the people with one single product. Not everyone responds to one capsule that is 4 milligrams of CBD. That's probably, your cat or your infant or something. I don't know. It really depends on the person. And I'm not trying to digress, but having choices, although confusing in the beginning, is so good in the long run, because you find the thing that's best for you. And we don't make that decision. It's about lifestyle. It's about what you're willing to do. It's about how much you need and how your body responds, really.
Wonderful. Perfect. Is there anything else you would like to add to why Kannaway, or what to look for when differentiating? We're kind of biased here. We represent a company that we strongly believe in and we've been a part of for quite some time, and we use the supplements day in and day out. So we see firsthand between ourselves and many testimonies along the way why we wanted to host this call, just to kind of give people some facts.
It's true. And, I did have the experience of working in the recreational and marijuana cannabis industry in California for a short time, and did a lot of research there and learned a lot from some amazing people out there. Also having my own personal experience and changing my life with products really made me dig in and really dive in. The fact that now we have the U.S. Hemp Authority certification.
Oh, right. Yes.
Huge for us. Between the physician's desk reference or prescriber's digital reference and the U.S. Hemp Authority certification, validating how important it is to have those standards met, and also retested again by another third party, not our own. Someone else is actually validating that you are speaking the truth and that you are who you say you are and that your product is what you say it is. And that's why I'm here. And that's why I can say the things that I say and feel good about it.
Absolutely. So I think it comes down to credibility.
Yep.
And just making sure you know what you know.
Absolutely.
If you don't know what you know, you got to find someone that does.
That's right.
And do your own research and be your best advocate. So,
yes, you have to take responsibility for that, and you have to say no when you have a suspicion or something just doesn't quite look right. It's not worth it. Trust your gut and go with your instinct, and find a trusted professional who has the right information.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Melissa.
You're welcome.
We're going to go ahead and end this call. And if you have any questions pertaining to this, go ahead and get with the person that maybe referred you to this video. All right, everyone. Thank you. And thank you, Melissa, for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, bye.
Bye.